We are now live.
Oh, shoot. Okay. I'd like to call to order the December 23rd, 2025 Columbia Borough Council meeting. Could I have a roll call, please?
Councilperson Kaufman,
Here.
Councilperson Stahl,
Here.
Councilperson Fisher,
Here.
Councilperson Easy, Councilperson Murphy,
Here.
Councilperson Bergard,
Here.
Council President Zink,
Here.
Mayor Lutz.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. Before we move on, I would like to have all of council and the mayor and the chief come over here. Want to wish all of Columbia a Merry Christmas. This was Leo's idea, so I don't want you to think like it was not my idea. I agree that we should do that. Yep, come on in. Come on in. Squeeze in.
Don't hide.
Yep, squeeze in, Leo. Yep, up front.
Squeeze in between the flags.
Yep, in between the flags.
1, 2, 3. Are we gonna sing?
No, we're just gonna say Merry Christmas, Columbia.
Merry Christmas, Columbia.
Merry Christmas, Columbia. Should we all do it?
And
together?
have a safe and happy New Year.
I did not get that.
That's right,
There you go.
So you want
what
to
the
do it again?
camera did. Thank you.
Something new.
Yep. All right. Did anyone wish to offer an invocation? If you'd like, please rise for a moment of silence. For the final time, Councilperson Stahl, please lead us in a pledge.
My honor. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Announcement of executive sessions, there were none. Additions, deletions, and reorganization of the agenda. I need to add item F8, or I'm sorry, 10F8, that is going to be accept the resignation of Marilyn Cress Hartman from the Planning Commission. And then we're going to add item 10F9, that's going to be adopt resolution 2025-37, appointing Marilyn Cress Hartman to the Planning Commission for a 1-year term. That's that whole correction thing that we had talked about at the last meeting. Are there any other additions, deletions, reorganization needed? No? All right. Could I have a motion to approve the reorganized agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Stahl, second by Councilperson Kaufman to approve the reorganized agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, citizen comment, non-agenda items only. Don't have any sign-ups. Is there anyone that wanted to speak that didn't get a chance to sign up? Yes, Frank.
The firehouse on Front Street and the sewer plant, and plus the highways down there too. What's the status on them? I'd appreciate maybe if you might want to not take my 5 minutes and whoever wants to give a report, if you have a short report, I'd like to know what's going on there. Nobody wants to. The other thing I have is Ridge Avenue. What is the status there? My understanding that was subdivided. There was markers put there where the road's going in. Nothing is happening. I remember hearing, I think the attorney, I don't know who it was, somebody had said that they didn't get a hold of the auctioneer. Here's a property that could have been sold and on the tax rolls, but I guess we don't need the money though, do we?
Frank, I'm going to talk about both of those things in my report tonight.
Okay, I appreciate it. Ridge Avenue too?
Yes, sir.
And then I also asked about the Chris Vera investigation, Mark Stivers deal. Nobody seemed to want to comment on that. So I guess I'll just ask about the Chris Vera investigation. It was brought to my attention that everything was sent to the chief and it was being investigated. Where are we at with that?
We're not
I
taking
didn't-
up your
may-
five-
maybe-
we're not taking up your 5 minutes.
Maybe the chief didn't get that paperwork or something. I'm surprised that nobody's given nothing on this.
Because we don't want to take up your 5 minutes, Frank.
Yeah, okay. And maybe you can answer this. What can you tell us about Jim Williams that we're going to be hiring tonight?
Can we address that at the agenda item?
Yes. Yeah, sorry about that.
All right. Is there anyone else that wanted to speak and did not get a chance to sign up? All right. Minutes for approval. Can I have a motion to approve the Borough Council meeting minutes for December 9th, 2025?
So moved.
A motion by Councilperson Murphy, second by Councilperson Kaufman to approve the Borough Council meeting minutes from December 9th. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. Presentation and acceptance of reports. The first item we have is finance. I do not want to acknowledge these because they are actually not in the packet. So they will be in the packet in January. Safety and marketing, Councilperson Bernard.
Thank you, President Zink. I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the public safety reports, including the Columbia Borough Police Department report for November 2025, EMA report for November 2025, Columbia Borough Fire Department report for November 2025. The EMS report for November is not in this packet. Acknowledge receipt of code compliance report for November 2025 as well. I would like to make note that on the report of monthly offenses from the police department, I've kind of noted this several times throughout the past year. Total number of offenses year to date, year over year from 2024 to 2025. Prior year, 1,126 noted offenses. 2025, 980. That's a 13% decrease. Don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's temperature of culture or things are changing within the borough. Our police department is doing a great job, or all three. So I just wanted to call that out. I think, for any borough, public safety is paramount, and we need to acknowledge that the police are doing a great job, and we need to tell our residents that the streets are safe. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Community development, Councilperson Kaufman.
I'd like to acknowledge the zoning and planning reports for November 2025.
Any questions? All right, Mayor Lutz.
Yes, I'm going to be as brief as I possibly can. But first thing I have to do is acknowledge, I need to tack on a little bit with what Todd said. And this is what I see. Over the past year, and the chief can comment on this, please, if he would like to. Over the past year, the department has taken several, I'll say, rather bad people off the streets. And by doing that, that sends a message to others in the community to straighten up or leave, one or the other. Also, I think the word is out. We have a young department with some young, eager officers, and they're out there doing the job. They're out there beating the streets. So I think that's some of the reasons for the decrease. I thank them all for what they're doing. It's nice to see those numbers drop, and that tells me they're out there working. The other part is three of your councils leaving tonight. This is their last meeting. And let me make a few comments. Pete, really hate to see you leave. Young guy, come in here, and I'm all for getting some of our younger residents involved in local government and helping us, whether it's on council or on commissions or whatever have you. I hope you didn't forget about us. I really appreciate the job you did working with Jake and the Public Works Department. I appreciated listening to your level-headedness and the ideas you had. I know that there was a lot of thought and a lot of work in what you did and what you said here at council. And I want you to know that I really appreciate what you've done. And I hope this community appreciates what you've done for us over these past couple of years. So thank you.
Thank you.
Barb, a lot of time you spent working on personnel issues. Lord knows we've had personnel issues, and I know you put a lot of time in reading resumes and whatever have you. But that's only a part of what you did. The work you have done and continue to do, and I know you will continue to do this, helping those in Columbia Borough in need. Some of the things that you have done with that, just outside of council, working on the organizations and everything, and bringing that back to us. I appreciate that. I appreciate that work. And it's my understanding that now you won't be leaving us, but shortly you may become a member of the Planning Commission. So that's wonderful that you have agreed to step back. And I know it's probably part because of your jobs and things like that there, your life, but that you continue to do something for Columbia Borough. Really appreciate that. And Todd, I thank you for all the time and the work you did with EMS, with the police department, with the fire department, with the emergency medical services, working through the ambulance issues and things like that there, and keeping track of some of the things. That wasn't easy. There was hard decisions that had to be made, and I think this council made the correct decisions based on the work that you did. So I thank you for that. I also thank you for your innovation, putting the stuff up on the board and urging people to think outside the box and do some good work. So thank you. And you made a comment to me recently. So after this last meeting, I'll never see you again. I hope that's not true. I hope that we can continue to do things, and you can continue to look at Columbia Borough and offer some advice when you're able. And that goes for all three of you. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for what you've done.
Thank you.
Thank
Todd?
you.
Thank you.
And I'll turn it over to Chief.
Todd and Mayor, I just wanted to thank you for acknowledging the hard work of our officers. I think a lot of the positive trends that we're seeing related to the crime stats is because of all their hard work, truly. And that's going to continue. I have good news to report this evening. Yesterday, our two cadets, Toby Kohler and Blaine Schaffner, graduated from the Reading Police Academy. Both also today passed their state examination or boards. So they are now full-fledged officers. They will begin a 2-week training, like in-house training, and then start with their FTOs at that point in time, their field training officers. So we're very excited about that. Also, I wanted to let everyone know that a promotional exam was given for the rank of corporal last week. And we had 4 of the officers study hard and pass the exam. So we're very proud of them. All 4 will be moved on to the next phase of testing. So thank you.
All right, on to action items. Could I have a motion to authorize the bill payments?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilperson Murphy, second by Councilperson Kaufman to authorize the bill payments. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns on that? Seeing none, I have a motion by Councilperson Murphy, second by Councilperson Kaufman to authorize the bill payments. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Next, do I have a motion to authorize payment number 3 in the amount of $39,634.26 to H&P Construction for the Maple Park Phase 1 project?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilperson Stahl and a second by Councilperson Kaufman. Are there any questions on this?
Yes. Is this the final installment?
I don't think so.
Is this the one for Maple Park? I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm not certain about that.
Okay.
I'm not
I
certain.
didn't know if the bathroom stuff was put in there or not.
No, I don't think this is the final. There's still,
Okay.
We didn't pay anything for the electrical contractor,
yeah, we
and
did.
did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. It was under the threshold, so it didn't have to come here
Okay.
for specific approval.
The two primary, it's my understanding, the two primary contractors are going to get final invoices to us
Okay.
in the coming weeks,
Okay.
or week, I should say. The grant must be closed out at the end of the year, and documentation, I guess, needs to be submitted within 60 days of the close.
Chief, wasn't there an inspection yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah, that's in my remarks, but
Oh.
you want me to, I can talk about it now, sure. You want me to wait?
No,
No,
go
no.
ahead.
Okay. So there was a inspection, Lori Yike, who is in hierarchy, right? I don't know what her title is exactly, but she's up there.
She's the regional manager for Parks and Rec and DCNR.
Okay. So she did a final site assessment on the project. She was satisfied with the progress. We still have some light poles that were ordered that have not arrived yet, that need to be put up. I can't say enough about the oversight that Wilson has given this project. He's been out there so much here on the weekends when it need be, in here on holidays. He's done a tremendous job. We thank him for that. He was out there today for a number of hours. So just making sure things are getting done, and when things are not meeting his satisfaction, he lets us know, and then we reach out to our contact, the engineer on this. So things are actually coming to conclusion, but we do have a few things to tie up yet. Yes.
Great. Anything else on Maple Park? No, if not, I have a motion by Councilperson Stahl, second by Councilperson Kaufman to authorize payment number 3, the amount of $39,634.26 to H&P Construction, Inc. for the Maple Park Phase 1 project. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Great, next, could I have a motion to authorize contract change order number 3 in the amount of $37,510.98, and application for payment number 8 in the amount of $201,140.50 to Iron Eagle Excavating for the McGinnis Phase 1 soil remediation project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Stahl and a second by Councilperson Kaufman. Are there any questions?
The 37,000 change,
Mhm.
what was that for?
It was a change in quantities. Sorry, it's my grandmother. Whoops, everyone else in the family knows not. It was for, it says on the thing, a change shows overages of quantities needed in the field and unused items deleted from the contract.
And are they gonna wrap up before Christmas?
I think they are largely finished. There's just a few little odds and ends.
Okay.
I think they're still laying down that stuff.
See,
Yeah.
That is my understanding as well. I did want to mention, there was a mishap on Friday. A tree on a property that's adjacent to the McGinnis project fell and struck a shed. So the contractor and our engineer are on top of things. They're working with the property owner to get repairs made. It was not substantial damage to the shed, but there was some other items that were on the ground, it's my understanding, that were damaged. So they are working with the property owner to make sure they're made whole and to get the situation resolved.
Yeah, and just to clarify, the 37,000 is a negative.
Right.
Yeah, that's a credit. It's not extra. So, any other questions? All right, I have a motion by Councilperson Stahl and a second by Councilperson Kaufman to authorize contract change order number 3 in the amount of $37,510.98. An application for payment number 8 in the amount of $201,140.50 to Iron Eagle Excavating for McGinnis Phase 1 soil remediation project. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. Next, could I have a motion to hire Jim Williams as Assistant Borough Manager from January 2026 through April 2026 for up to 25 hours per week at a rate of $45 per hour?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Fisher, second by Councilperson Murphy. This is, Mr. Williams is retired from Manheim Borough. He's also done this interim borough manager, assistant manager things for several different municipalities since his official retirement.
East Petersburg Borough
East Peters,
served as borough manager.
yeah, I couldn't remember all the different ones.
Also has experience at the county level.
Yes.
He sits on the board of the land bank, is my understanding.
Yeah.
Is that right, Mayor?
Mhm.
Yes.
He works with the redevelopment authority.
Did you say he wasn't previous program?
He was
Yes.
at multiple locations. Yes, yes.
Mhm. Yeah, so, and this will get us through until we have a full-time manager. Are there any questions, comments?
Let me comment. You covered it pretty well. I've known Jim for over 24 years, probably 25, 26 years. And as was noted, Jim was a borough manager at East Pete, borough manager at Manheim. Recently, since his retirement, he has been filling in around the county as the job that y'all want to hire him for, doing that kind of work. Jim has or is regarded as one of the more experienced, best borough managers in the county. He comes very highly recommended, and I'm looking forward to seeing Jim.
Any other questions or comments? Anything, Frank? No? All right, I have a motion by Councilperson Fisher, second by Councilperson Murphy to hire Jim Williams as Assistant Borough Manager from January 2026 through April 2026 for up to 25 hours per week at a rate of $45 per hour. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Next, could I have a motion to authorize staff to advertise the Borough of Columbia public meeting schedule for 2026?
Second.
I have a motion by Councilperson Kaufman, second by Councilperson Burgard. Are there any questions on this?
This is such an upgrade. I remember years ago when we got these calendars. Whoever made this upgrade with the colors and the grids,
I believe it's
whoever
Paul.
did that a few years back,
Paul,
nailed it.
right?
It's wonderful.
Mark started it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's very, very nice. Yeah, it's been very helpful the last couple of years. I print it out and tape it up to the wall. Never miss a meeting. Excellent.
One thing we do need to make sure that we put in the advertisement that is not on this calendar is the first meeting in January of '27. We always put the first meeting of January on just in case something happens and we don't get advertised on time.
There's also one other slight change, the time,
Yes, the line for,
The tree-
shade
shade tree.
is changing from 6 to 6:30. And the legal ad does have the first meeting of every month of every year. So, for next year, for the 2027.
First meeting of every month for
Oh,
every.
I'm sorry. Correct. For 2027,
Okay,
the legal ad does have the first meeting listed. for
Okay.
2027.
yeah, well, we didn't see like the actual legal ad, we just saw this
Right.
big grid, so I wanted to make sure that that was gonna be on there. Well, while we're thinking of it, and while it is abundantly, in our minds at this point, for next year, December, the zoning hearing board would be December 30th. Are we okay with that? I mean, I know I don't think the 30th is as bad as the 31st.
31st.
Very first.
Yeah, I mean, we should have really
They
They
looked
moved
were
at
it.
given the option to change
Change
that,
it, yeah.
and they chose to keep it as is. So,
Are we gonna be able to even get a stenographer?
we have everything.
Okay.
The reality is, they had 3 meetings this year.
Yeah.
The chances of that happening are slim.
Well, I know, but,
That was offered to them to change the date.
does anyone have any other questions on? Oh, and I see we originally were told the election day was on May 12th. It's not, it's May 19th, so I saw you move the planning meeting, but we didn't have to move council. All right, any other questions on that? All right, I have, who second before? I have a motion by Councilperson Kaufman, second by Councilperson Brigard, to authorize staff to advertise the Borough of Columbia public meeting schedule for 2026. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. Next, we have the resolutions appointing and reappointing people to committees. First, do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-30, reappointing Raymond McCarty to the William Lockard Trust for a 5-year term?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Kaufman and a second by Councilperson Murphy to adopt resolution 2025-30. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Before I finish these, does anyone have any comments on any of them so that we can just go down through? All right. Then do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-31, reappointing Donald Haynes to the zoning hearing board for a 5-year term?
So moved. Second.
A motion by Councilperson Murphy, second by Councilperson Brigard to adopt resolution 2025-31, reappointing Donald Haynes to the zoning hearing board for a 5-year term. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. Alright, next, do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-32, reappointing William Cloyd to the vacancy board for a 1-year term?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Brigard, second by Councilperson Murphy to adopt resolution 2025-32. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Next, do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-33, reappointing Amanda Hahn to the Shade Tree Commission for a 5-year term?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilperson Murphy, second by Councilperson Kaufman to adopt resolution 2025-33, reappointing Amanda Hahn to the Shade Tree Commission. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Next, do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-34, reappointing Tiffany Lynn to Planning Commission for a 4-year term?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilperson Murphy, second by Councilperson Burgard to adopt resolution 2025-34. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. Eric, are you even voting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you. Next, could I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-35, appointing Deborah Claire to Planning Commission for a 4-year term?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Murphy, second by Councilperson Bard to adopt resolution 2025-35. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Next, could I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-36, appointing Deborah Claire to the William Lockwood Trust for a 5-year term?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Murphy, second by Councilperson Burgard to adopt resolution 2025-36. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. All right, next, this is the item we added. We would like to acknowledge the resignation of Marilyn Crest Hartman from the Planning Commission. And then item 9, do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-37, appointing Marilyn Crest Hartman to the Planning Commission for a 1-year term?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilperson Murphy, second by Councilperson Kaufman to adopt resolution 2025-37. All in favor? Anyone opposed? All right. Now on to new business. We're asked to consider approval to replace the heating unit on the police station side at an amount of $13,772. Jack, you want to fill us in on this one?
I honestly think that Wilson would be better suited to give the details.
Okay. Come to the microphone, Wilson.
Please.
Yeah, please. Or you can sit up there or whatever.
Wilson Feld, Facilities Manager. The unit is 26 years old. Normally, those units last less than 20 years. It wasn't replaced in our last round of replacing the other rooftop units. The cost of repairing it is $8,000. And the cost of replacing it is $13,000. If anything happened to it in the future, the parts alone could be more than the $5,000. That's the difference between the $8,000 and the $13,000 to replace it.
And they get that old, you can't find the parts.
And the other thing is it's a train unit, and the parts for a train unit are very much more, at least twice as much as our other units.
So currently, the unit is not functioning. We're trying to supplement with electric heat units, but it's our cell block that's affected, our processing room. And these, over the last 2 weeks with bitter cold, it was extremely cold in there. It's very concerning.
Any questions, comments, concerns?
Thank you.
Yes.
Do what you gotta do.
What fund is the money coming from?
Capital.
Capital?
Don't we have a general fund line for maintenance items like
Repair?
this?
Yes.
Maintenance and repair?
We do.
We do, but it's, you don't have that much in it.
Cover it.
Remaining.
Do you know how much is in it?
It's pretty close to, the 40,000.
And I don't have the finance reports to see. Are there any other questions, comments? Does anyone have a problem voting on this one? No.
No.
Do I have a motion to approve the replacement of the heating unit on the police side at $13,772?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Stahl and a second by Councilperson Brevard. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Next, we're asked to authorize the reallocation of the remaining DCED grant funds from Riverfront Stormwater Project to Mill Street Storm Sewer outfall repair.
This was a project that was on the back burner ever since I was
Yeah,
first came on here. And part of the issue was the main damage from this was on private property.
right.
But it was, we were gonna do our best to work with the property owner there, but Derek never got anywhere with the gentleman involved. But given we had leftover money from the other storm sewer repair grant, Derek inquired whether we could transfer that over to this project and get it fixed up and repaired, and so far it seems like we're good to go.
Are we gonna have to spend any more above that 85,000 for that project?
Is that what the amount is that we have left?
Yeah,
85,000? I don't believe so, but I'm not certain. I think we'll know more once are we just approving? Are we approving application for the reallocation? Or because at some point we'll have to bid out the project
right.
and further approve it. So this is just kind of like a directive at this point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it says. Motion to reauthorize proceeding with reallocating the funds.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was.
So if the reallocation wouldn't go through, there's no binding to any sort of project.
But if the reallocation does go through, are we bound to the project?
No.
We first have to bid it. then
Yeah.
award the bid.
I kind of thought we were on agreement. We weren't going to do more projects until we get the project straightened out that we have.
This is the allocation of funds towards a repair that's needed. And so if the funds go through and are there, then the project can go forward if it falls within the budget. And
But the fact remains is this is on private property, right?
it's part of it is, but it's an outflow into a public waterway. And if we don't maintain it, it could cause further damage to that, the public infrastructure there. So it's kind of like it's the best outlet for this extra money that Derek's seeing right now that qualifies, because it's a very narrow bandwidth of what we can use these dollars for.
Since this is a stormwater outflow, have we gotten any response or negative feedback, I would say, from the Chesapeake Bay Commissioner and like that for this? That you know?
No, it was damage to the
Yeah,
store.
so,
These are remaining funds
Yeah, yeah.
from a project.
project.
So you either get them reallocated and use them, or you lose them.
Use it or lose it. Yep.
Well, I get that, but I don't wanna see us reallocating money for the sake of reallocating it and then end up in turn needing to put a whole bunch more into it that we weren't planning on doing anyway.
Unfortunately, Derek wasn't able to be here this evening. Is this a matter that maybe we should table until
Yeah, I
we have
mean,
him
this is,
here to answer the
I
questions?
would, I don't feel comfortable voting on this until we get more questions answered.
If it's not urgent, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
been on the back burner for 5 years at least.
yeah.
So it can wait.
Yeah.
It's no rush, I don't believe.
Does anyone have a problem voting on it? I
Unless-
do.
Unless you would hear back that it needs to
Yeah, I'll
be
let you know.
reallocated this year or something.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no commitment. I mean, I have this, I'm not going to fight you on it, but I'll just say I have no problem voting for him to try to reallocate it because you're not bound in any way, shape, or form by reallocating.
Yeah, if you don't like the bid, you get back. You know what I mean?
Well, then
It's not even
But
it's
I
not
don't
even
think we're gonna-
commissioning him to work on it.
intern, it could wait then as well, just as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's,
I'm more concerned about the private property aspect of it.
is it bound to a year or certain years?
What can of worms does that open up?
Right.
If the I'm just concerned, question I have is, if the real reallocation carries
Big,
over
big,
twenty
big,
twenty-six, does the timing of that mess up, you know, being able to even consider doing that?
So that I don't know if you read the letter that's in the packet.
Yes.
It falls into, I mean, the main issue with it is that it goes through private property, but it's obviously it's infrastructure related to MS4. So
One of the questions that has to be answered is if this is a storm sewer outfall, then the borough should have an easement on that land for that storm sewer. But we don't know that, so I think you need to find that out. So I think you're safer to table it.
Mhm.
Derek just got back to me and he said the DCD fund should completely cover construction and they cover engineering up to 10% of the total amount of what's needed. So he said maybe a little bit of engineering budget, but otherwise, no, there wouldn't be any other funds that would be necessary to do the project he's proposing.
Is the holdup the person's, the private property issue?
in the past, there was just no communication back to the borough engineer from the private property owner.
I still think we need to know if there's an easement.
You need clarity.
And yeah, ask Derek if this absolutely has to be action tonight. If not, I think then we need to just hold until the next meeting and we'll have it as an action item then the first meeting in January.
He said the funds have to be spent by the end of September 2026, or else the borough will forfeit those $80,000.
Oh, my goodness.
So
Oh, so
We're
we don't
good.
have to act on reallocating it tonight.
I'm going to ask him that specifically, but I don't believe so.
I don't believe there's a rush on it. I mean, he has the design permitting from now until March, and then bidding April to May of 26.
Construction not the next summer.
Yeah.
Any other questions on this? No, We don't have to action it then.
Move on and I'll let you know.
Yeah.
So we gotta get a motion to table or anything?
No, because we just had it as new business
Yep,
and
new
it's,
business.
considering it, so we don't have to table it or anything, we're just not acting. The next item we have is, consider hiring Eli Kraus for the position of full-time police officer, contingent upon passage of all employment testing and a thorough background investigation. We do have the civil service letter in your packet.
I'm good.
Questions, comments, concerns? Again, we're still trying to get caught up with replacing from retirements. Yes, Frank,
What's the starting salary?
do you want to go to the microphone?
I'll repeat my question. What's the starting salary?
60,000.
60,000. Does that include the raise, the annual raise that the police get?
No, this officer would actually need to go through the academy and go through the step process. So, no, he would come in at 60,000. Doesn't include any increases at this point. That's
When-
contractual.
When do you propose he'll be hired?
He will be hired and start the academy in January. He'll be hired this evening if council desires and start the academy in January, the second week in January.
Okay, thank you.
You won't see duty till around June, July.
Yeah, really.
Is he replacing somebody?
Absolutely. We have an officer retiring in January. We have a second officer retiring in May and a third officer retiring in September.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Does anyone have a problem voting on this one?
Mm-mm.
Do I have a motion to authorize staff to hire Eli Kraus for the position of full-time police officer, contingent upon passage of all employment testing and a thorough background investigation?
Oh, yeah, me.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Brigard, second by Councilperson Kaufman, to consider hiring, or to authorize hiring Eli Kraus for full-time police officer. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Discuss and consider changes to the fee schedule for 2026. Who wants to take this?
I sent out an email with a copy of Lancaster City's building permits and their costs there, or their fee schedule rather. I don't know if you all had a chance to review that. I believe that moving forward, we need to consider including a scaled and tiered fee schedule for building permits related to the commercial buildings that will be constructed on the McGinnis property and other parts of town projects that we hope that are scaled up instead of scaled down in this borough. So I believe that we have to look up the totem pole, so to speak, at a bigger city and go off of what they're doing. I am sure it would take a little bit of time and effort to implement it on the administrative side, but I would like to advocate that we basically copy the fee schedule of Lancaster City for the most part and add it to ours.
Any thoughts?
I agree with
Yeah, they agree.
what Pete's saying.
Yep.
I like the ordinance, but we would have to rewrite our ordinance. add it to the fee schedule, the way Lancaster is.
Would you?
Why would you have to rewrite the ordinance?
The ordinance states,
I thought we did all
Yeah, I
fees
think we
by
took the- we
resolution.
just-
I thought we got all the fees out of the
Yeah, we got the fees
ordinances.
Well.
but you have to
they're
show,
not-
that you have to show the broken down how it's calculated. We don't show that.
You would show that in the fee schedule.
Fee schedule.
I have to go back and look at the permit, or look at our section there.
That's one of the things we used to have problems with, was changing the fee schedule, and then you go back and look at the ordinance, and it had the exact amount in there. It's like, no, I think, as far as I know, I think we changed all those ones that just reference the current fee schedule.
This is probably a bigger nut to crack
Than just.
for regular session. It's probably more of a workshop topic, don't you think?
The nice thing is with this fee resolution is that you can make changes to this at any time. Obviously, every year it's good to readopt this, but there's nothing that stops you if you talk about it in a workshop in February from making changes to it in March. So just don't feel like you're locked in if you can't make that decision tonight.
I think it's a great idea. I totally advocate for the idea. I think it's smart, wise.
So do I.
So do I.
I would suggest that we would, if anything, just kind of give a direction to have the administrative side look at it, have Jack and everyone just kind of make a recommendation on how to integrate it. And then
Yeah.
council can vote on it later.
Then bring it to a workshop or something.
Yep.
That's smart.
Yes, Frank.
Maybe I'm not understanding this right. And this is permits relating to what?
Construction,
Building permits.
building permits.
Okay, I thought, okay, I was thinking it was something else.
The whole fee schedule is being talked about tonight, but this is something on the construction of it from Pete.
Okay, yeah, I kind of agree with that, but I was just wondering how you can compare Columbia to the big city of Lancaster. Do you know what the population is in Lancaster City?
So one of the reasons we have to consider changing our fee schedule is for commercial building permits. When you consider the scale, our fee schedule for building permits it's a one size fits all,
It's one size fits all.
and it's basically the same as Lancaster City's residential permitting fees. But when you get into commercial projects where you have 100,000 square feet or something, it's just not it's not tenable for the developer.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you too. As long as when you set them fee schedules, you don't waive them for certain people.
Right. This would allow it to not be a matter of subjectivity to the council. It would be
More of
a scale. So you have tier 1 projects, tier 2 projects, tier 3 projects, and it's in the fee schedule. Takes the guesswork out of it.
Madam President, under in-office fees, nonprofit facilities use application fee is currently listed as free. However, on the application itself, it is a $50 fee. So that's a proposed change.
Chief, under the police department fees on the very beginning, I know we have the false alarm fees. It's actually the first 3 false alarms. There's no fee. It doesn't start till the 4th one. Do you think,
Yes, that pretty much matches state law. Yes,
yeah, so we had talked about this.
yes.
Yeah, 3 for you. Is a lot of response time.
So I have a question on the quick ticket. Majority of our quick tickets are $20, $30. The appeals is $25. But it's not refundable.
I disagree with that. I disagree with making it non-refundable. Because that's basically saying
You're gonna pay no matter what.
you're gonna pay no matter what. If you pay your ticket and you appeal it, and you win your appeal, you're not getting your $25 back. So you're gonna charge them whether, so then we're back to like we were before, where when we had the fee to appeal, it was $200. Like, you're making it cost prohibitive to appeal the quick ticket, which I think is a disservice to the
I do too.
citizens.
They shall have a right to appeal.
Yes. I mean, that'd be like appealing your parking or appealing something at the district justice, them saying you don't get your money even though you won.
The reason that monies were put on, I didn't agree with the $200. The reason that was put on is for people to think before they appeal. Without any fee, you may wind up every quick ticket written be appealed.
No,
So,
I mean,
and
we're
also
still,
what we
yeah,
got is-
we're still doing a $25 fee to appeal it.
But just if they win, they would get it back.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I thought you were,
No.
okay.
No, but if they would.
No, and I think they said, I think when, I remember sitting here and we talked about it, Sharon, you probably remember this, when we talked about lowering that appeal fee. And the argument was, oh, everyone's going to appeal it now because the thing is lower, the fee is lower, so everyone's going to be incentivized to appeal it. But really, those of you sitting on the appeal board, how many are we seeing?
As long as there's
Fewer this year than any other year prior.
Exactly, so,
What's that?
There
There
is
is,
the quick tickets now.
yeah, and there is a fee to appeal.
So what's the suggestion is to do what?
It's a $25 fee to appeal. If you win, it's refundable. If you lose, it's not refundable.
That's the way it is right now.
yes. I don't,
So-
nothing, but it was
so-
supposed to make it non-refundable.
Yeah,
So if I drove by and gave you a $25 gift, quick ticket, if you did $25 appeal, you're paying whether you win or lose. Doesn't make any sense.
if you win, you pay more if you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think that should change the current structure.
yeah,
Maybe it should be noted on there, right? Refundable if, I don't know, is the word won, if awarded,
Appeal award.
right? Non-refundable if not. Refundable only if awarded, appeal awarded.
Shouldn't the cost be the amount of the quick ticket?
yeah, and it is.
I think we used $25 because that was kind of an average of everything.
I think all the quick tickets are, except for the notice of violations.
The non-compliant ones
Yeah,
are 500.
yeah,
Shouldn't you have to pay the 500 though to appeal it?
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
That way it's on,
well.
it's like you can appeal it, but it's,
Should we allow them to appeal those $500
Yes.
to this board?
I think they go to
It
DJ.
just happened. We just had a bunch.
She just had a thought, that's right.
Oh,
We had a batch of 5 of them at once.
Or a favorite landlord.
Oh,
Yes, I agree, Pete.
And none of them were,
Very good call.
I think maybe instead of
You
putting
got some.
the
Prior
fee
to
is
coming to the appeal here.
$25, but the fee
prior
is
to the appeal
the
board.
amount, the appeal fee is the amount of the quick ticket.
Seems fine.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
save us fine. What, you're shaking your head?
I think that's what it would be.
I don't.
If you're doing a $500 quick ticket, then you're gonna have, and you just had a scenario where somebody came in,
And 5 of them.
bought
Five of them.
$500.
Well, hold on a second, Paula. If he's in the right, it doesn't cost him a thing. If he's in the wrong, he shouldn't have appealed.
And then, and not only that,
Well, I mean, realistically,
Well,
realistically, it's money in, money out.
right, I mean, and honestly, if you got $500 quick tickets, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
You're doing something wrong, and honestly, if it's our favorite person, our favorite landlord, and he has $500 quick tickets, I'm sorry, he has a habit of not paying them anyway. So you know what, this just ensures that we're getting our money.
So would they pay both the $2,500
No,
ticket fines and the
no, because when they appeal them, they don't pay them. If they lose, they don't end up paying until after
Gotcha.
the hearing anyway.
Yes.
So this way, if they're appealing, they get the money. And if they lose, the ticket's paid for.
No, wait a second. No. It's $500 to appeal. If they win, they get that $500 back. If they lose, it costs them $1,000.
You pay the fine and
And the reality of it is, if you're guilty and you're appealing just to try and pull something over on us, and you lose, you lose. You're not,
I don't like that. I think it should be if you lose, then it's paid for.
no.
It's because if you would take a fine, traffic ticket or whatever and go and fight it, like you would pay for that up front with the appeal letter. And then you would,
And then if you win.
if you win, you might get at least part of that back. And if you lose, it's already paid
You
for.
pay the fine plus the cost, which is the same as.
I will say that I think
No, there'd be no cost to appeal it.
your appeal fees have to be reasonable. And what that means is that, like, charging somebody 20 times what somebody else is being charged, or 30 times if it's $20, you're likely to get challenged on that. That's what I'll tell you.
I think we had that
to Heather's point earlier,
years ago.
to Heather's question earlier, there really have been almost no appeals this year. We used to be doing like 3, 4, 5 every month. We have had very few, and I don't know if this fee schedule was a problem. I don't think it needs fixed. I don't think it's broke, to be honest with you.
So the only thing that changed in that regard is when an appeal comes in, 90% of the time I'm in the building. I will come out and speak to those people, show them the pictures, show them what we have. And a lot of the time, they decide not to appeal me because it's obvious that they were wrong. So that's one reason we have less appeals.
Well, that's excellent to hear. Yeah, that means you're doing your job. That's really awesome. Yeah, people are getting service.
Hard to argue with that.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that.
So we just gave it a 25 for appeal.
And
Would it take something?
I'm sorry?
If I got a ticket, and I wanted to appeal it, I didn't even pay the ticket before I went. I went before the magistrate, and then if I was wrong, I paid the ticket then.
You gotta pay the fine first.
You know, like, put the fine in like an escrow.
Yep.
So that way, if you're found guilty, before you appeal, you basically have to pay it in, so that, if you are found guilty at that point in time, then
But you don't have to pay it. You don't have to pay a fee for having gone and appealed it. If you would lose, then your fine is already paid for. So I think we could change it to same as fine, but then if someone wins their appeal, they get their money back. If they lose their appeal, it's already paid for, and they lost an hour of their time, but they have a right to a fair appeal.
No, if you go to district justice, this, if you go to district justice, and say you have a $20 parking ticket or whatever, you appeal to go to district justice, you go to court. If you win, it's dropped. If you lose, you're paying court costs, plus the fine, which is basically what you're saying with the appeal costs.
But the court costs are the same, basically, for any summary appeal
Yes.
at the district justice level. It's not
So-
based upon.
Right, so if you have a quick ticket, whether it's $25 or $500, and you appeal it, it should cost you $25 to appeal it. If you're found not guilty, you get your money back, all of your money back. If you're found guilty, you pay the base fine plus the $25 appeal fee.
That's what we have now. That's what's working. Right. And I don't think it's broken. Don't need to fix it. That's my.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Just so I understand, if you're getting a $500 fine, apparently that is the fine for something that you didn't do right. The price of the quick ticket is $25 or whatever, so now you're paying that $500. Now, if I get that ticket and I don't do nothing, I don't file no appeal, I don't do nothing, where does it go from here? How does it escalate to what?
Escalates to district justice because you, in the form of, did not pay.
Exactly. Yeah. You should not, I can't say that it always happens this way, but in that situation, what should happen is you go to the district justice, the borough files an action, and the only thing that is an issue is whether you did pay or did not pay. It should not be a hearing on the merits. That doesn't always happen. But it should be just a hearing on whether or not this person paid the fine. If they didn't, then the borough gets that money. If not, but that's the only thing the hearing is about, not whether you mowed your grass or not, right? Like, because that has already been decided.
Okay, so I get a summons from the JP and I still ignore that. Does this build up more that the borough might get more money out of this?
It's not, but the court is.
Yeah, I mean,
The court gets more
yeah,
money out of it.
the borough would get a judgment, and it depends on, kind of how that, if it's a quick ticket, then the borough would not get any more money except, and unless the borough gave the person more quick tickets. If it was like a nuisance violation that is outside of the quick tickets, you could get up to $600 a day. The borough can, and you can file multiple actions if somebody doesn't do something.
And who would get that money?
The borough would get a judgment in that amount,
Okay,
which could be transferred to the Court of Common Pleas and then result in a sheriff's sale or something like that. If you don't get it that far.
The next item I see with red, I had a question about this. Annual body art establishment license fee. What's the difference between the two? Oh, the professional is the person. What is the rationale for wanting those increased?
We are currently using a service to do the inspections. And increasing the fees would then match those costs.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe instead of putting it on there, we put cost, actual third-party cost or whatever.
I think it makes sense to have that plus a little bit because of your administrative costs and administrating. I think you're certainly able to do that. I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have a fee on that.
So I think that nonprofit facilities use request application fee, I think last year We had changed that to free, so it sounds like what happened was the fee schedule got changed, but the application itself did not. And so that's why there's a disconnect. Do you guys, I mean, I
We did.
remember last year we changed
We
that
did.
so that if it was a nonprofit, there was no fee. So I guess the question is, do we want to change it so that it matches the application, or
Change the application.
change the application to match the fee schedule?
To be honest with you,
Jack, you scroll down to that.
to be honest with you, I'd rather change the fee schedule than match the application. It costs the borough resources, I'm sorry. Nonprofits still make money. We're not a nonprofit. We have bills to pay as well, and I just don't think we're in a position to even offer a $50 freebie. I just don't.
You open the door.
If you raise it,
by carte blanche, nonprofits don't pay any fee. I think you open the door for problems. I think it's the job, there should be a fee, and it should be the duty of the council to waive it or not,
you go.
to look at each on its merits.
Right, I agree. Because my concern was, getting somebody out the market house.
I shouldn't say we're not a charity. No, we're not a charity.
Well, it's one of our facilities. So technically, somebody can put a facilities use request in for that.
No, because there are separate procedures for that.
Is it documented?
The market house has its own application.
I understand.
And I mean, if someone were to come in here with an application and put on there that they wanted the market house, then our staff is gonna call and say, you have the wrong application here.
Okay.
You need to go to the market manager.
So I agree with the mayor on that one. I think council should decide, either they reduce the fee, they put a, small fee on instead. They should decide, whether a fee is waived or reduced or anything else.
I agree with that.
But the
We
fee
have
on
to
the
go
council
this one
is
take off.
way or lower.
Although it should be stated somewhere that people have that ability.
I think they'll find out fast enough.
Well, I mean, honestly, we're already seeing some doing that as well. But if we do change it back and have a fee, I mean, I don't think we need to, I think we can just, if they're gonna have the facilities use request application fee, it can all be one line now because it's the same, right?
Right.
So it doesn't need to be a separate line on here if it's the same as the other one. It can just be removed. And if we are going to do that, I would like to see that when the facilities use requests are coming to us, we don't see them with the whole contingent upon receipt of application fee. Because the whole point of the application fee is to pay for our services up front and getting that ready. So to come to council before they've even paid that fee, it's sort of like that argument with the with the building permits or the inspections. We're providing the service before we've gotten the money, when the money is supposed to pay for the service that we're providing.
We had a facilities use request for this evening. We removed it because the fee wasn't paid.
Yeah.
So Yes, that's the practice we're going to follow.
Yeah, I sent that email back and said, wait a minute, why are you doing this? But yeah, we had seen several of them. And then if they are asking us to waive the fee, then we can refund the fee, but they need to pay it up front.
That's smart.
Yes.
On the park that we rental for the back window for the big park, charging 25, why is non-profit facilities use application free of 50, should it be 25 for non-profit?
The suggestion is to,
Should it be twice as much?
the suggestion is to erase that.
That's right.
It would be,
Just
yeah,
remove it.
it would be the same price.
Just remove
as
it,
the-
any application would be the same.
Yeah, any
So
application.
you just remove that whole, remove that
What
whole
would
line.
that fee be then?
And then if they want to get a waiver for it, they'd have to come to that council and ask. You know, just remove the whole nonprofit. It's, everybody pays the same.
Yeah, I don't
If it's a
see where
nonprofit,
that,
they can't come ask.
I'm kind of confused as to why we have that separate line that's not with the other.
Facilities use can be anything in Columbia. So it's different, well, it could be roads,
Yeah,
so it's different than the pavilions.
right, that's just a rental.
Right. My concern is at the Market House, we have a contract with set fees. The manager can notify a local community organization that, hey, I can take this to council and reduce that fee. Our application, there's nothing saying that, which may turn people away. That's all I'm saying. Or organizations.
Wait a minute, I don't see anywhere on here where there's a facilities use request application fee other than nonprofit.
I didn't see it either.
So I'm kind of confused.
Is that why the 50s are?
Maybe you're right.
50 for that. For profit.
So maybe last year it got put on here because that was different than the regular one, but the regular one didn't get put on here.
So we keep it the same, we just put facilities use application fee. We
Yeah.
don't distinguish between profit or non-profit.
Yeah.
If they want
Make
to
it
get,
50.
if they want
Yeah,
to-
that's what I would do.
If they want to get away, they can come ask. Whoever's on the council.
What else? I'm trying to look for the red. Parking meters. So we're gonna change it, just say as posted on meter or park mobile app?
This is in addition to the 25 cents. Obviously, we still have parking meters until we work through the project. But we all know that Park Mobile is more costly, so we just wanted to reflect that, the fee would be spelled out on Park Mobile. Does that make sense?
All right. Looks like that's it for the changes. Anyone have any other questions? All right. If there's no other questions or issues, then we can prep that as, because that has to be done by resolution.
Sure.
For the first, what did we say, January 13th?
Oh, yes, that's the first. Yeah.
do we need any, should we do any official action to direct staff to,
No, we don't
Look
need
into the-
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
as far as the building permit integration stuff?
I mean, we can. I don't think we have to do anything official to direct them to do it, but, you know, they can work on that, and then when it's done, if it's not done by January, you know, they can do it at any time.
Yep.
Alright. Review zoning briefs for upcoming zoning applications.
Should we discuss them publicly?
No.
I didn't think so. That's why I was kind of, I appreciate that we all got
Yeah,
a copy.
appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
No, that's the zoning hearing board's decision, not ours.
right.
And we shouldn't be saying anything that's going to.
In the future, is it the desire of council to receive this in the packet? Or is this something that could be sent just to council via email?
So one question, one change I'd like to see changed. Like I get planning commission, I get everybody's, the committees that I belong to, or oversee or whatever, I get their packets, but all council doesn't. I would like to see all council get all their packets, all the different committees.
Yeah.
As part of the email group, not delivered, just part of the email. But that way, they're aware, and if they have a question, they can go to that committee meeting.
Yes, Sharon.
I had a question on this. Is this new? Because I don't recall ever,
It is.
so it's from the new zoning officer, a new idea to put this in. Oh, okay. I was a little surprised it was signed by her. That's why, but I was a little surprised to see it in the packet because it was before the zoning hearing. And it almost, the comments almost made it look like the decision was kind of already made. That's the feeling the neighbors got when we saw this, surrounding this particular property.
I am guessing that the language that's in the brief is largely from the application that was submitted by the applicant. That's been, it looks like, looking at those numbers, 1 through 5, the variance criteria, that really does look like, now, the comments from the staff probably should not.
Isn't that what Giselle said, keep out?
Yeah,
And that's what each one has. I mean, I think there's 5 places there that they comment.
Yeah, I think that's what we all agree with that.
'Cause I was surprised when I saw it. So you're not going to talk about this tonight? I wish I didn't. Okay. All right, thank you.
Sorry.
So, if we're not talking about it, then how do we know if it is council's? I mean, obviously, the borough should be represented at these hearings. However, the person representing the borough at the hearings, how do we know that that is
I think you could talk about the borough's position on it.
position?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Since we can't talk about that particular property, could I bring up the fact that there are a couple more rentals of homes that were owner occupied and then sold? And do they all have to go to the zoning hearing board if they were owner occupied, they're sold, and the new owner wants to rent it? They don't all have,
There must be criteria.
Yeah,
No,
that's not a
it's-
change, that wouldn't be a change in use because it's still a residential.
No.
if it's short term, it has to, right?
Yeah, that's short term.
Even long term. We have for single use or single residential homes for rentals are required to have 2 off-street parking.
Yeah.
So they have to meet that zoning criteria
Yes.
before you can just say,
Yes, okay, sorry.
But that is That is governed by the issuance of the rental registration.
No, that's because they're zoning first before.
Not if they meet the requirements in the ordinance. They're
A rental is not a use in your zoning ordinance, right?
Yeah.
That is not, it's not a separate use under the Uniform Construction Code or your zoning ordinance. A residential property is a residential property unless, I think it's if there's two or more. More than 2 units, yeah. So that does not, now, if they don't have 2 off-street parking, that's something that we have struggled with, to be frank with you.
And
I think that is a really, because like I said, a rental is not a use in the zoning, it's not a use in any zoning ordinance. A rental is not a separate use, again, unless it's a multifamily, multifamily property that's normally 3 or more units. So we should probably take a look at that.
so in other words, I saw that, forgive me if I get the address wrong, but I think it's 515, maybe Larry Laird's place, what was sort of a business on the first floor, and the second floor was where he was residing, and now it says it's going to be a rental. There's also one at 128 South Second that is a rental, and we had talked about that one because they didn't have any off-street parking at all, or the ability to make it. That's back on Marketplace as a rental. As of today, I saw it, and they're saying they have parking now, but they don't have it on site because I checked the back again. There's no parking there. So they're leasing off-site, you mean? Are we allowed, are the neighbors or anyone allowed to know where they're supposed to be parking, or? Okay.
Yeah, and that, I think that's where those 2 off-street parking places come in, is that if you don't have those 2 off-street parking places, you are not getting a rental license, and therefore you can't rent the property. I
Okay.
think that, it's not a zoning issue, but it's a rental registration issue.
And that one,
It must be on property.
The off-street, that's not what
No.
That's what we want to change.
correct. That's
So it hasn't been changed, they can still rent it. They
okay,
can still lease parking. from
blocks
somewhere else.
away, okay. And that particular one is still being advertised as either short-term or long-term, according to their ad that I saw in Marketplace, but I don't know because it said $2,200 a month. So I wasn't sure before when they advertised it, it was per night. It was like $339 or something like that. I'm sorry?
Is that north or south?
It's south. It's Bob Gaynor's old house.
Isn't that commercial?
No. No, and what that person did is said they're renting 2 off-street parking spaces from a storage facility.
Okay, I don't care about that. I'm saying for a short-term rental.
I just think a lot of the homes we're seeing being sold that were owner-occupied
There's a lot
are
of
turning
homes.
to
There's
rentals.
a lot of homes in Columbia that are short-term rentals that aren't allowed to be short-term
I
rentals.
believe that, yeah. Well, thank you.
The issue with the off-street parking that we talked about, or we have no way, and this has come up several times in zoning hearings, we have no way to determine whether the person is remains current with their lease for the off-premise parking, or how many rental units are renting spaces from that particular space. We had one particular zoning hearing that I recall where the question was raised, how many parking spaces do you have? You've been renting them out. You've rented out more parking spaces than you have. And we have no way of checking that. And that's why we have been urging to make it on premise, because then we can control it. I can tell you, I got a rental and my 2 off-street parking spaces are down here somewhere. I'm renting them from some, and I pay 1 month, never pay again. You don't know that.
Or rent the same space as the 5 different properties.
Yeah, And you don't know that.
But if they have a lease agreement with the,
That lease agreement too, and this is following it, that lease agreement gives us what we're asking for, but we have no way to monitor if these tenants are parking there.
they don't.
Yeah.
You don't
No,
have,
but
but you don't have to.
We have no way to monitor whether they're keeping current with the lease agreement.
Right.
Our language,
But that's on the lease, that's on the leaser, not us.
It's on them, but if they don't report it to you, how do you know? It's the same way as pay, same thing we talked about a week or two ago, about people paying for a trash hauler.
Right.
If they don't pay, how do you know they're not paying? We used to know when our local haulers told us they weren't paying. Now we don't know. And I can tell you, we have people living in Columbia without haulers.
So you would be requesting a change in the ordinance to make those 2 off-street parking spaces, they'd be required to be on the same property as where the rental units are. Okay. So that's something we can.
That's what we're looking at.
All right, well,
We've already talked about that.
well, getting back to these two zoning things. The one on Locust Street,
Can I just say one more thing? Should we share, as council, should we share our opinion?
You
Prior?
can, yes, this is,
But doesn't that
the
kind of,
issue was a memo from the zoning officer to the zoning hearing.
no, I understand that issue. But as,
we've done it before. We sat here and talked about what we wanted to do with,
Right across the street.
with the church that wanted to rent out the property on 4th Street.
Yeah,
We said, do we agree with that? Do we not agree with it? To give the person that's going there direction.
yeah.
So
exactly.
I just want to say that I am a little disappointed with the recommendations for 475 Locust Street.
right,
We worked really hard to get that ordinance together to say that, based on the feedback from the merchants and everywhere else, that the tattoo shop should be on highway commercial and not downtown. And then there's the recommendation to approve it.
I see, especially when they said that, they got incorrect information from the Realtor. Too bad. I mean, when I moved here, I didn't have 6 kids, but I have a 6-bedroom home. Our initial intent isn't anymore, was we're considering making like a bed and breakfast or something like that up in 825 Walnut Street. Well, before I ever bought the place, I came in here and talked to Jeff Helm. You go to the codes person, you get the correct answer first. So if you're relying on a realtor's going to tell you what you want to hear because they want the sale. It happens time and time again. If you don't believe me, go talk to Marilyn Crest Hartman, and she's on planning. So that's why I'm surprised that kind of went through that way.
I do not in any way agree with I'm not a fan of.
I'm thinking they may not have been aware of the zoning change. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Well, I mean, maybe the realtor wasn't,
Hey,
but
No, I mean, the board, maybe they weren't aware, because it was recent.
That's not what it says.
Yeah.
That should always, one of the first questions at the planning commission meeting should always be, is this a permitted use in the zoning district where they don't know that. That's
right. And I mean, the planning commission had to look at the ordinance change, so to give us a recommendation.
I didn't know it was going to zoning because of this. For the variance.
Speaking of the eye, right?
So, I mean,
Counts, policies.
we can't deny it,
No.
but what,
If they would appeal.
we can go to the hearing and be a party.
Yes, correct, absolutely, yes. And if you want to, oppose it, you are absolutely able to.
And if the zoning hearing board does grant it, we, as the borough, have the right to appeal as a party.
resident, I believe,
Right.
Not really unless it's
Unless
adjacent
you're
to.
like,
I mean,
yeah,
I'm up on Ninth Street. I couldn't be a part.
yeah, because you're not directly affected. And then, right, the, 515 Chestnut Street, they want that as a short-term rental.
They give an opinion on that.
They didn't give an opinion on that one.
Yep. Because there's a resident that came and speak. Present evidence that the neighborhood didn't want.
What's that?
If you read through,
Yeah.
it says that a resident came with a letter from the neighbor's space, they're saying they didn't want to see that.
I thought that was in the, I thought that address is in the district where the media, or what's the term of it, that
What's
the
it?
zoning, the medium density residential something, like,
Medium density residential business, I think is the.
and I thought that address is in that, where that's allowed.
Yes, it goes up to Sixth Street.
Yeah,
Sixth Street's cut off.
I thought it was Fifth.
no, because I remember when we were going, when this was all going through and they were talking about limiting it to the district, they said would be that 500 block of Chestnut Street where the homes are further apart and everything else.
That is correct, but it's no density.
Oh, it's low density.
And so is that where the short-term rentals can be?
Across the street, I believe. Yeah. Maybe not there.
Yeah, so it's.
Yeah, that's
Because all business is up through there. All business is up through there.
So it's this way that we're to-
What are our feelings on this one?
I'm personally in favor of short-term rentals everywhere, so.
Anyone else have thoughts?
Most of them aren't gonna have, most of them aren't gonna be able to have to provide this parking anyway in the short term.
Right.
But those who can, I think should have the right to.
I agree. Anyone else? Yes.
We'll use the 515 Chestnut Street that they want to turn into short-term rental.
Locust.
I'm talking about the 515.
Oh, sorry,
Chestnut.
Chestnut.
Yes. The gentleman is going to live there on the second floor. Is that considered a rental?
Yes.
Okay, so now he wants the first floor to be short-term rental. What if he turns that into a long-term rental? Will that not increase the parking places if he does it? It'll be a double rental place then.
Yeah, if it's 2 units, he'll need 4 spaces, right? 2 and 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Per unit.
Okay.
Even if he lives on that,
He's going to be probably living on the second floor, most likely.
it's still a 2-unit property, so it's 4 spaces.
So if he happens to rent that out, he's not there, that'll still make 2 rental places. The downstairs will be for short-term rentals, and then that'll be a rental up there. And he has 2 parking spaces in the rear, plus 1 out front. I guess they consider 1 out front, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
It's,
so if he is the owner, and he lives upstairs and rents out the downstairs, he would need 2 off-street parking spaces. Per unit, yes.
But what if he leaves and rents the upstairs?
Then he would need 4.
Okay.
That should be, because
We had the gentleman at planning commission last week, and he, over them, and he has stated that while he is renting it out, he will not be staying there. He has friends throughout the borough and friends throughout Lancaster County where he will be staying. So while he's renting out, he has 2
So we'll need 4 spaces and
2 units, 4 spaces.
they grant that.
And he's renting both units.
Right.
Because the
Oh, he
two
rented.
space requirement is only in your rental licensing.
It's not currently a 2-unit, and don't we have, we are not allowing the conversion of single-family dwellings into 2 units without a zoning change. And he's not converting it to be a 2-unit.
Right.
So it would still have to go to a zoning change for it to become a 2-unit in the future, whether or not he stays on the second floor.
Anything else on that?
You want any more information?
Yeah, I know,
I
he
also
is.
serve on planning commission. The reason there was no recommendation was because he wanted to do this due to medical reasons, and he had very valid reasons for doing it, and seems very vigilant in wanting to do it the right way. However, there was a neighbor that lives right beside him. They actually are very close and great friends, but he is concerned about what might lead to down the road. So our concern was, we wanted to recommend in favor to zoning that if they can approve it conditionally for him only, not to grandfather it in for the property because of the concern for the neighborhood. Those two are working very closely to make it a positive experience, and he does have the 2 spots in the back. And if you hear his story, you can understand why he wants to do it. But that's why we didn't make the recommendation, because we could hear both sides. As far as the other property, our initial reaction, of course, no one wants additional tattoo parlors, especially general ones in town. However, a few have gone out of business, and this one is completely different. It's more of an art studio. She sent in a lot of pictures of what she proposed to do. She plans to decorate it very nicely, extremely nicely, with a lot of the downtown stores merchandise. It's like a Victorian setting with antiques and everything. And she does do very detailed artwork. It's more artistic than traditional tattoos. She also would only have 1 client at a time. She also is living there, so she's invested in the area and the property, which is exactly what we want in Columbia 2040 in downtown, to have a business on the first floor and the owner living in the property upstairs. And it's 1 building away from highway commercial, which is where she would have been allowed to have it. So that's why we recommended in favor for her. Yes, short hours, I believe from 11 to, zoning would have to ask her. But anyway, I hope that helps, because you're not seeing the packet that we did, and Eric, you weren't there. So that's why that decision was made. She gave a very heartfelt presentation and is very concerned about the neighborhood and will be living there. Thank you. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Anything that gets passed becomes a use. So if we were right, because she's gonna stay at this tattoo place, but then 2 months from now, she quits and moves out of town, it still could be a tattoo place.
Yes. No, I was talking about conditionally for the short-term rental.
Short-term rental, once you make
Which-
it a rental unit,
Which it's not going to be a rental. It would only be a short term.
It can't be
He's
short-term.
in no way asking for it to be a long
once,
term rental.
once you agree to be short-term, as long as the next buyer keeps it a short-term, it's still short-term. It can be short-term the whole ways out.
Well, we were told that they can put that condition on it.
You can make it a conditional use, that when the use changes, that condition goes away.
But the use won't change if somebody doesn't want to.
So advise it as-
I mean, Giselle would obviously be the authority on that. That would be a pretty, like, put it basically like for his life and nobody, that would be, or his ownership of the property, I think that would be tough. But like I said, that's definitely.
Right. So that's why we didn't the solicitor wasn't here, we weren't sure if that could be done, so we didn't make a recommendation
Right.
either way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Sharon.
Yes, Sharon.
I do have to speak for some of the neighbors. I think there's at least 5 of us that do not want to see that happen. And I know it sounds like a not in my backyard type thing, but I just feel like resident Fry, that was up in the 700, I think it was 700 block, and I still remember what he said. He lived in that house for decades and sold it because, in part, the neighbor was operating a short-term rental, and he felt as if it lowered his property value. Now, I don't know because he sold and left. He's not in Columbia anymore. But I kind of feel the same way about that. I think depending what happens, and, I feel for the gentleman who, is our neighbor who wants to do this because I understand his health condition. But I don't think, and it may sound kind of harsh, but I don't think that should come into the decision on whether this becomes a short-term rental. It shouldn't be decided based on his health. And I don't know legally, can they put something like that on there? Can they, like that it can change or go back to just residential, not short-term? That seems,
No, that's what we were saying.
That's where I would defer to Attorney Cleary on that. My opinion would probably be, no, I don't think that's a condition that can be.
and I don't think we, the public, would have the ability to ask those kind of questions and get answers. I mean, the zoning board, I guess, could, but I don't know that she would allow question and answers.
Yes, yeah, you could.
You could be a party and make your statement, but I'm not sure that Attorney Cleary would answer. I don't know.
She generally does, I think, but yeah. But that's certainly, so I would hope that would be a topic of discussion if that was part of the recommendation from the zoning here, or from the planning commission.
If it is a long, let's say if it becomes a short-term rental, if they allow it, could that then just become a long-term if they decide they want to stay and rent it for longer than 30 days, or?
Well, they would have to, the owner would have to get a rental, go through rental registration.
Okay, but they wouldn't have to go back to zoning to get that to be a long-term rental then?
No,
Okay.
because it's a rental.
It's the use is not necessarily tied to the status of what's going on in the.
Okay. And if you look at the property, which I don't know if any of you have looked at it from the front and the back, but if you see it at the back, the parking is parallel. You can't pull in, and you can't walk through the yard to get to the house, to get to the back door. You would have to go into the neighbor's yard. I mean, it's a bizarre setup back there. Not that maybe that couldn't be changed. I don't know how easily it could be changed. But my thought would be across the street, and I know we're not talking about that property, but just for example, across the street, there's a 5-unit rental. They have a beautiful large yard that could accommodate every single car that they have as far as people renting, but they all park on the street because it is not used in the back. So I'm just saying, I really believe that eventually it will, if we keep allowing more and more people to occupy one home, one particular property, and you get more and more vehicles there, I do think it will impact the parking eventually. All right, thank you.
All right, anything else for zoning stuff?
Do you want to get a motion as to the borough's position on this?
Do we need a motion on the borough's position? I think it's pretty clear that the tattoo is a no. And I don't think anyone said anything about the short-term rental, opposing the short-term rental.
I oppose the short-term.
You oppose it?
I oppose it. Yeah, I oppose it. I don't want it to, I'm more concerned of it once we allow it, once it
stay that way, was to keep the whole street from being nothing but short-term rental. That's a quality of life issue. In my opinion, people who live here, pay taxes, and are investing in single-family dwellings take priority. And it's a quality of life issue.
It's one of the criteria.
So we're opposing the vote. All right. Staff reports, comments, and announcements, Mr. Gable.
Just a couple of updates, since Frank, you asked, on the real estate. The property at Ridge Avenue, I am working with the auctioneer. We had to finish up, they wanted to see some of the documentation from the environmental covenants, that are on that property, and we just, submitted those to split between the property that the borough would like to sell and where they're proposing to build the new public works building, try to split that off. And so we wanted to finish that up before we did that. But I've been in contact with the engineer. We talked last week, had a couple of questions, got some answers to those. And I think we're going to try to target late January, February time period to try to get an auction on that property. It is subdivided, yes. That's why we were working to split the environmental covenant, because it used to cover the whole property. It doesn't really need to.
More properly define what coverage is that.
Exactly.
What you're saying.
Yeah. Yes, there was an appraisal done just on that back parcel. Yes, yep.
No, not assessed, appraised. No. No, it damages our position.
Yeah, it does.
It's the wastewater treatment plant, we are still working with Norfolk Southern, haven't gotten any updates. The attorney for JG talked to them, the other day, sent an email. I think the attorney that's been working on the easement agreement recommended approval to Norfolk Southern of the form of the agreement that we sent. I've not heard anything back from Norfolk Southern yet. So, I know that I can tell you that they are pushing. I said to Chief earlier today, this is one of the oddest things I've ever come across in my career, because you've got somebody who wants to buy the property, somebody who wants to sell the property, and because of a third party, we can't get it done. But I promise you, we are working on that. You will see an agreement with the CEDC for the sale of that property, with some new extension language in there that gives you guys some more flexibility. We need to readopt that agreement with the CEDC. So you'll see that at probably your January 13th meeting. So that way we can keep everything legal. Obviously, this is taking a lot longer than anybody anticipated, but that it'll give you the ability to terminate it a little bit quicker. As long as, like I said, CEDC has it now, they're going to take a look at it, and we'll go from there. The firehouse down at 137, 147, 149 south front, or north front, excuse me. South, it is front, yes, south, yes. That we've gotten an agreement to the CEDC. They wanted some changes after we met with them earlier in the fall. Now, I had heard some rumblings that maybe you guys wanted that to be sold via auction. Have you guys discussed that? I didn't remember any motions to that effect, but I wanted to broach that subject with you. That seems like you'd be leaving a lot of money on the table there, in that situation.
Well, I'll be perfectly honest. I don't know that I feel comfortable anymore sending that one through the Columbia EDC. I don't. The firehouse.
Firehouse. Number one.
Dennis Marino sits on the board of the CEDC. And that just does not give me the confidence that the board would get us the best deal that they can for that property when they're selling it to someone who sits on that board. And to me, that seems to be a conflict of interest. I don't know. I mean, we put our reserve on it at the public auction, and we are justified in our reserve because we have our documentation. So that's our guardrail there. And honestly, we have been trying to get the EDC to move on that property for several years now, and feet have been drug and everything else. And I'm ready to say, we have our guardrail of our reserve, and let's sell it. And that also then tells everyone else that we're serious, that we wanted this done, and it needs to move. I mean, I don't know what anyone else thinks, but
I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's been nothing but a liability the whole way through, from the lease agreement to the maintenance items that constantly are cropping up, and yeah, it needs to be moved. Needs to become a taxable property again.
and I'm also hearing that he may not want to purchase it now. And we've sat on it all this time with the expectation that he was going to purchase it, and now he may not want to do that. Plus, he sits on the board of the entity that he wants to purchase it from, and it just seems like a conflict. Anyone else have thoughts?
I'm in favor of the auction.
I think we ought to get some commercial realtors in here. Put it in their hands.
We can't.
We can't until we do an auction or a sealed bid twice.
Then
That's why I'm saying, do the auction and we have our reserve, we know what it's worth.
If we don't get it.
We don't get it, we move on.
And it has to be, had a conversation with CEDC and put it to them, say, look, we want this done.
Well, we've done that several times.
And all they have to do is engage commercial realtors. And I would ask, what commercial realtors have you engaged?
Is it the desire of council to include the two parcels of the property?
So are they tied together right now?
They are, as far as I know, it's all part of
Is
the
it one,
lease agreement.
is it one parcel?
No, it's not one parcel. It's 3 separate parcels.
So we could sell the other lot separately.
You technically could, yes. There is
Do
the,
we have the appraisal that breaks out?
it does not.
So the appraisal we have, it's for all three.
And part of that, right, I mean, it certainly helps the value of that main parcel to have the parking on those other parcels. That makes a difference.
I'd sell it all as one, and if the person doesn't want those other two, they can go through the whole process of something, because otherwise.
You don't subdivide it, you just sell them all.
Right, yeah.
Is there any parking lease agreement with the railroad for the actual parking lot of that's paid?
Yes,
Yes, there is yes, there's
a little like triangle.
very
Is-
small,
That's an official lease.
yes, that is between the borough and,
No,
no,
it's
between
between J.T. Graham
and Norfolk.
and Norfolk Southern.
Yes.
So would that potentially, like, that wouldn't necessarily transfer?
No.
So the new buyer would have to work that out?
Right, and if the new buyer wants to park on that area, they would have to
Yep.
deal with Norfolk
Yeah,
Southern.
that is a very, very small portion of the market.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, right.
If you sell the property where the sewer plant was and the highway shed is there right now, what happens if they don't get Ridge Avenue done? What will happen?
We're actually selling the wastewater treatment plant in two parcels,
Yes.
in two parts. So we'll retain one of the parcels until we move.
Okay. So we two separate bids.
2 separate sales, yes.
Okay. And my other question was, I wanted to ask it, I was hoping you let me ask that. Who is paying the real estate tax on these 2 buildings? Are they paying it, and who would be paying it if they are?
The leasing pays it.
Pardon?
The leasing pays it.
Okay, so both of them are paying real estate tax.
Any other questions? Or, I'm sorry, I haven't.
No.
Your section.
Yeah, no. You know, if you guys are ready to make some type of motion about that, if you want to think about it for, you know, until the new year, I just wanted to bring that up tonight. Because I know that is something that you guys have been, you know, antsy about, which is understood for sure.
Have we been able to determine, what a market rate lease is for that property yet and get them on it?
As far as the
wastewater
treatment plant, we have not, but I can work on that. There's been some things going on in the background that we've tried to take care of. So I think they are paying now all the utilities and
The
everything.
expenses.
Yeah.
But they're occupying, they're using more than 40% of the property, and they have been for months,
Yes.
and we are still charging them
Yes.
$1,000.
Yes, understood.
That's what I'm saying, Frank.
I have raised that issue with their attorney, and what he says, and I don't think it evens out, but they are, technically the issue with the not having an easement is the borough's title issue, and they are paying their attorney to deal with our title issue technically. Because they're, right, so the kind of stain on the title, the reason we can't sell this is because there isn't an easement for the wastewater treatment plant property to cross the railroad tracks. That's a defect on the title to the property that the borough owns. And because it was easier for JG to handle it because they were going to be the ones who would eventually own the property, they're essentially paying to have that title defect removed from the title. It really should be our responsibility, but again, I don't think that makes up for but that was the response that I was given the last time I raised that with them. So. Yeah.
All right, anything else?
No, that's all I have.
There is here, Secretary Treasurer.
Yes, I received a correspondence from the County of Lancaster Office of County Commissioners concerning how the borough is going to collect taxes in 2026. So I wasn't sure if this was a discussion we wanted to have this evening, or at least started.
As I said, we do have an elected tax collector. We don't know what his intention is to.
I spoke with him today.
Oh, did you?
Yes. So his intention is to deputize the borough.
So, I mean, that's the question, are we willing to get deputized again, to collect the taxes here?
I think it's a question for staff, and for it comes back on the manager, whether the administrative side of the borough can handle that, whether it's a burden or a good use of time.
I'm receiving mixed messages, I can tell you that.
Yes.
So it's something we can ferret out internally, and I can get back to council.
I mean, the other question I have, and I know this just because we had the issue last year, it came up, is the union having an issue with Laura being the deputy tax collector, because I knew last year they were.
I'm not aware.
And I know that was one of the things they were having an issue with last year, because it is not in union contract and it was not in the union work. And because prior to that, prior to Tammy leaving, it was always the finance director was named the deputy tax collector. So, I mean, that's the other issue is, are we going to get grieved by continuing to have Lori do that? I mean, the money is kind of a wash, pretty much, because yes, if we collect it here, they pay us the county pays us 75 cents a tax bill to process it because we have to process and then send them a check every month. But if the county collects it, we have to pay them 75 cents per tax bill, but that cost, I mean, it probably costs us more than that to actually do it here. Because we're staff time and so forth.
Once we give it to them, we can't take it back, right?
No, pretty much no.
How much is that total? How many tax parcels do we have?
Oh my God,
There's a new tax collector.
4,000.
it's
It's over 41,
So it's,
35 or something like that.
so it's under $5,000. Under $5,000 for sure. To process it.
So.
My thoughts were, if you collect the taxes, record it, send that to the county, and then the county sends back the money to you.
No, that's not how it works.
You're gonna collect tax money,
Yes.
you're gonna send it to the county.
No, we send the county just the county portion.
Right now. You
Yeah.
send it to them. If they get it, they send it right to you.
But they don't get it because it goes on our tax bills to send it here.
So we're gonna send it to them, to send it to us.
I think we're talking about you.
We might be.
If the county is collecting all the property tax,
Yes,
they'll get the money.
yes,
And they'll send you a check
yes, they send a
for
check.
what it's owed you.
Yep,
If you collect all the property taxes, then you gotta send it to the county.
yes,
And when the county does their work, then they send it to you. So you're gonna get it faster by having it go to the county rather than.
no.
It'd be faster again if it come here.
Yeah, it's faster if it comes here because then. it
We're
doesn't
gonna
go
cut out
on-
our share and send in the remainder.
Yes,
Is that what you're telling me?
yep,
Okay.
that's how it works.
Okay.
And then every month, we have to send them a check, and there's reports that have to be filled out, and you have to go on the county website and reconcile everything, and go from there. I mean,
I find it hard to believe in this day and age that anybody would want to be a tax collector for 75 cents a bill. You can't, you know, if you would have to rent an office, have an employee, get a computer to do the work and everything, I just can't imagine that. That price at 75 cents. Totally out.
well, they can set a different price.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think maybe it's time to ask the county, we need to look at this a little bit.
I mean, the tax collector can set their rate.
That's, the county can do it for 75 cents a tax bill. That doesn't mean that somebody in the borough would have to do it for 75 cents a tax bill.
Right.
But they have the manpower and the administrative staff.
To make the cost a lot less
Yeah.
because they're doing so much more. The county.
And they allow you to pay online.
It's 75 cents because it's cheaper because of the economy of scale.
You can pay it online with the county.
Right. Yep, you can pay online with the county and everything else. And they have the integrations.
say do it. I say give it to the county.
I said wait till next meeting.
So in order, if you wanted to,
But we can't. I mean, we have to
They have
tell
to pay the
them
tax bill.
they have to print the tax bills.
he would, so the elected tax collector would have to, he should have received a form whether he was going to reject the office or not. He would have to send that back saying he was rejecting the office, therefore you would have a vacancy that you could appoint the county treasurer to as the tax collector. That's what would have to happen. And just to clarify one point, this is for the next, until the next municipal election.
Yes.
The tax collector, like, it's not forever once you switch to the county treasurer collecting your tax bills. If somebody was elected as a tax collector starting 2028, they would be, that would be your tax collector if they wanted.
So what you're saying, Evan, is if the borough tonight would say, no, we don't want to do this, it would be on the tax collector, the elected tax collector, contact the county and say,
I'm not,
Yeah, unless he or she wanted to do it. As much as anybody says. Yeah.
so, I mean, we have
so
to
he would basically
decide.
not accept the position of tax.
Correct.
Right.
Yes, that's what has to happen in order for you to appoint the county as the tax.
So realistically, our decision tonight is, do we want the borough to be deputized or not?
Yes, correct. That's exactly what we need to, yes.
I think as an incoming council person, I also think that the county should handle the tax collecting based off of what the discussions that we've had with Jack Brommer about like the municipal staff and managers having a lot on their plate right now. I just don't think it's feasible for the borough to handle that responsibility. And it's just going to be easier to pay a few $1,000s to have that taken care of. But I know I don't get a vote yet, but that's how I would
Just to be
suggest.
clear, we're not voting whether we send it back to Langston.
Yeah.
We're just sending it whether or not we want to do it here.
And I would suggest no. That would be my.
When you say here, you mean in the borough, have the borough deputized or have the tax collector?
In the borough, have the
So
borough
right now, the
deputized.
decision is tax collector, the
No,
borough
no.
deputized.
The decision now is, does the borough want to be deputized to collect taxes?
If not, the tax collector collects taxes.
If,
Or it goes to the county. That's the next decision. Got
and
it.
that's not our decision. I mean, if we say, no, we do not want to be deputized, we are not willing to be deputized, then it's up to the tax collector to say if he wants to do the work or if he wants to deny, if he wants to reject.
Who has the authority to set the rate of tax
You would
collector
have
fee?
to appoint the county, so,
Yeah, I mean,
so what your decision tonight is kind of twofold. Do you want to be deputized as the tax collector? And if not, if the elected tax collector rejects the position, do you want to appoint Lancaster County as your tax collector? That's what you need to, that it has to be, you have to appoint the county as your.
And that all has to be done tonight.
It does, because this has to be turned in by December 31st.
I would say.
And the tax collector's not here.
Give it to the county.
No, but I spoke to him by phone today.
And he said,
he wants us to deputize the borough, and if not, he
Right.
doesn't want to collect.
And then I say we give it to the county. That's my vote. I would give
Who
it to
sends
the
out, who sends out the tax bills?
The county.
The county does either way.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's why you have to make the decision by the end of this year, because they have to start printing those tax bills, and so it's gonna have the correct address on where to send it.
Yeah.
If we keep the taxes in here, we send it. If the county keeps it.
Okay, so it's not only cashing them and processing them, it's also sending all those out.
Sending all of those
Okay.
out, it's, yeah.
Well, that right there is worth another 75 cents. And we're paying postage on that also?
Yes.
Well, we just got our 75 cents back.
Yeah, we lose county.
Okay. Let the county do it.
I mean, for a long time, I was a big advocate on being able to keep that here and have that as a service, for our older residents that don't have escrow, that are, wanting to bring their check right in to the office and so forth. And I was a very big advocate on that, but I think it's gotten to the point that it's time that, and we keep hearing, we need to stop putting so much burden on staff, and we need to be realistic, and I just think it's time.
So is it a motion?
Do we need an official motion?
You absolutely.
We do?
Yeah, so,
All right, do I have, who would like to make a motion on deputizing?
So you have to make a motion even to say no, right?
Yes, so I would say the motion would be,
To deny.
to deny
Deny
the
the request.
request
There
to
you go.
Deny the request.
deputize the borough.
Request.
I'll do that.
It has to be, doesn't it have to also,
That'll be the second part.
okay.
So the first motion, I have a motion by Councilperson Brigard to deny the request to deputize the borough for tax collection. And I have a second by Councilperson Murphy.
My only thing was I'd like to hear from the other two incoming.
I agree with you.
You can see what it costs. It's a loss of money.
Thank you.
Any further questions? The motion by Councilperson Brigard and second by Councilperson Murphy to deny the request to deputize the borough for tax collection purposes. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, and next, do I have a motion to appoint the Lancaster County Tax Collection Bureau as our tax collector?
if
If
the elected.
If the elected tax collector
Besides that.
does not wish or rejects the appointment. All right, so I have a motion by Councilperson Brigard and a second by Councilperson Murphy to appoint the Lancaster County Tax Collection Bureau as tax collector in the event that the elected tax collector rejects the position. I think I got that.
You did, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Woo! Great. I just did that all without writing anything down, so I'm feeling pretty good there. Paula was, her eyes were going up and down as I was getting it, so I did it.
So just, we got it right for the minutes and all.
All right, and anything else, Secretary Treasurer?
Yes, one last thing. I would like to ask council to consider reenacting, or not reenact, returning to the finance committee format for, just the finance issues. I think we're under, a lot of headwind here over the next year. And I think having 3 dedicated council people on a committee to work with borough staff to come up with a policy, to come up with a plan to address the finances would be a good first step towards getting us back to where we need to be.
Jack, are you suggesting committees as in the past? Subcommittees?
I'm just asking for finance at this
For
stage.
finance at
Yes.
this time.
So that would be a public open meeting. That's what I'm thinking.
What did that?
No, if there are only 3 members of council or less, that would not have to be a public.
I understand that, but we've had committee meetings in the past.
I'm not saying we can't have public meetings, but I think there's a lot of work also that needs to be done behind the scenes, in order for us to get things straightened out.
Okay,
Yes.
I just want to be clear on that. So these would be in-house meetings, not public.
That is correct, at least initially.
Yeah.
Yes, and looking to maybe a commitment of at least, 2 a month at this stage.
Yeah.
Starting as soon as maybe December 30th.
Yeah, I mean, I had told Jack I'm definitely in favor of it, but I also think that this is one of the things that we wanted to talk about at the reorg meeting because we got new council people and they may have ideas on how we want to organize and how we want to do things, and so it's definitely wise to have this discussion at the reorg meeting.
And that would be correct. It is on the present council to appoint the committees.
Yes. Yep. All right. Upcoming meetings, as we discussed, zoning hearing board is on 12/31, and that's at 7, correct? Yes.
New Year's Eve party.
Yeah, right. And in our packet, there's approved minutes from Parks and Rec from November 13th, ARB from August 13th and October 8th, and Planning Commission meeting minutes from November 18th, and LASSA from November 20th. Borough Council comments. Start over here with Councilperson Stahl.
I'll try to keep it short, but it's been my pleasure to be here on this board, and thank you for initially voting me in and for the voters who voted me in. I feel privileged to have had the opportunity the last 5 years. I want to thank my family. My wife isn't here anymore, but my daughter Selah for giving up a lot of evenings and letting me come down here and be a part of this. Appreciate getting to know all of the staff that has sat around this table, and lots of respect. Especially my hats off to Wilson. They don't make them like they used to. He's a gem in this borough, along with Jake. And there's a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes. A lot that you don't understand until you get down here and see it. And thanks to all of you. My best wishes to you moving forward, and also to everyone here on council. It's been a pleasure to work with you, and best wishes moving forward. Thanks.
I would just echo what the mayor said earlier about, congratulating and thanking the 3 council people that are leaving, not only just, for the work they did, but their commitment to the borough, and especially what a lot of people don't realize is the commitment that it takes on their personal lives and their personal family time. That you're giving up a lot to do this. More people need to realize that. Thank you all.
So I echo the sentiments. Pete, Barb, Todd, it's been a pleasure working with you guys. I understand the amount of time you put into it. It's a lot. I appreciate it. But I do have a different comment besides that. Previously, I brought up about closing Friday's windows, office window. If we're not going to do taxes, I'd seriously like to start considering that sooner rather than later. I think that gives us an opportunity to cut back on comp time, which is a serious issue in this borough. So I really would like to talk about that again soon. But thank you guys. Thank you for your service.
And I just want to say I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve Columbia these past 4 years on council. And I am confident that the future of Columbia is in very good hands.
Yeah, I mean, what do you say? 8 years, long time. That's a major chunk of my life. I appreciate the trust that the folks of the borough have placed in me, whether you agreed with me or not, whether I was right or whether I was wrong. I could certainly say that I'm confident that I tried my very best to be as honest as I could, to be as fair as I could, and to be as committed as I could, even when the times didn't really want to be here. I look at these 3 out here, and I feel confident that these 2 years are in good hands. I'm here for you if you ever want to ask me questions. Whoever is public safety lead, please connect with me and I'll fill you in on everything you need to know. I'm very grateful. Thank you. Did all the people here, the relationship's amazing. I love you guys. It was fun. No regrets. Before I go, though, I do want to talk about two things that I wish I would have tackled here that maybe I want to challenge the next public safety lead with. It's the whole double parking thing. You know, on any given day, at any given time, you can go up Walnut Street and probably find 2 or 4 cars parked in the middle of the street with their 4-ways on, maybe even their doors open. I understand the parking issue that exists, but I bet you one of the 2 or 2 of the 4 are probably parked right next to an open space. It's absolutely nuts. It's infuriating, and it is a safety issue. I hope somebody on council will tackle that next time. And hey, I also charge somebody here, whether you're here or whether you're out there, the crazy idea board. Pete was very wise when he said during our discussion about raising taxes the last time, let's not do it. Unless we put a feet under our fire and commit ourselves to having to do it, it's not going to get done. And I agreed with that. But I voted for the tax because one way was short. But those ideas were intended to try to put the fire under our feet, at least come up with some ideas to help solve our problem and continue the conversations. Get excited about it. Come up with crazy ideas. You know, I think oftentimes the best ideas are really the simplest. The solutions are usually really pretty obvious and simple, but you have to overturn a whole lot of rocks to find it, right? I'm sure it's out here somewhere. You just got to go look for it. It's not going to be obvious, but I think that when you do, it's going to be pretty simple. So continue the conversations. Good luck to you all.
I just want to say, I don't want to string it out any longer, but I want to thank the 3 of you for allowing me to sit here and meet you and challenging me, challenging us to think about things differently and to really commit to this borough, commit to our community, and commit to what you were charged with sitting up here at this table. I also want to thank the families because, as it's been said, this isn't just a you issue, it's a family commitment. Every member of your family is affected, just like, you know, all of ours. So, you know, thanks, and you all know where I live, and I think you all have my phone number if you ever need anything. Give me a ring. I also, for those of us staying and the new ones, I haven't knocked it out yet, but I will be sending out the resolutions that we've previously done on rules of decorum and so forth. We want to look at those in January. We want to start starting off, you know, setting up our new organization. You know, if there's a new organization style, setting our rules, how we're going to operate, and so forth. So I'll send those out so we can discuss that and get ready to look at that. But there's one more thing that I wanted to bring up recently. There was a hearing in a decision came out of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, and I'm really torn on it. But I would like to challenge us as a borough to commit to not necessarily following it. I forget the decision name. I forget the case name. But it basically said that currently under when the Sunshine Act was most recently updated, it said that when it was added that we have to approve the agenda. It gave us criteria that we can add to the agenda at that reorganization part. And it was very specific criteria. It had to be an emergency. It had to be, you know, all these different things. A recent finding only from the Pennsylvania Supreme Court basically undid all of that and said, you can add anything you want to the agenda at any time as long as everyone on council agrees to have it added. While I understand the intent, in that sometimes, especially when you have very limited number of meetings throughout, you know, a lot of boroughs may only have one meeting a a month. I understand it makes it very difficult to do things if you miss that 24-hour deadline. But at the same time, I think that it hinders transparency and allows for opportunities for nefarious actions. And I would just like to see us as a borough commit to not doing that unless there is a real reason, that we stay under those reasons. I don't want to see us slip into, oh, well, let's just add it because we forgot to put it on the agenda or whatever. I want to see us commit to keeping what we've been doing. All right, so there's that announcement of next meeting at 7 p.m. on January 5th. Council will hold a reorganizational meeting. Tonight, we will be adjourning to executive session for a personnel matter. Do I have a motion to adjourn? The motion by Councilperson Kaufman, second by Councilperson Murphy, to adjourn at 9:31 p.m. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? We're adjourned. We have checks to sign and you guys should stay to it.